following show contains adult content. It's not our intent to offend anyone, but we want to inform you that if you are a child under the age of 18 or get offended easily, this next show may not be for you. The content, opinions, and subject matter of these shows are solely the choice of your show hosts and their guests, and not those of the Entertainment Network or any affiliated stations. Any comments or inquiries should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for listening.
Hey everyone, and welcome to 50 Shades of Bullshit. I'm your host, Christine Lalonde, and this is the podcast where we uncover the truth about online dating. Now let's begin.
Yes, let's begin.
Hi,
I'm Christine.
I'm Jada.
And this is 50 Shades of Bullshit. And today we're talking about something I have no idea.
All right, well, fill me in because I don't know either.
I saw the words Intuitive Quantum and Activator, and I was like, I'm down.
Okay.
I'm down. I'm like, I'm all about it. I have no idea what quantum even means. I should have Googled it. But here we are. So tell me, Jada, how was your week this week?
My week has been good. I'm on this new workout kick for the past 3.5 weeks. I've lost 8 pounds. What?
That's amazing. You look gorgeous. I wish that I was there to do it with you because I am so not motivated. I might have gained your 8 pounds this week.
That's okay.
I save a lot of videos that tell me little things to do for working out because I don't have a gym membership. Yeah. And then I think I'm going to do them every day. And then I'm like, yeah, no, I ate ice cream instead or chocolate chips.
Well, we'll see. I have a gym in my townhouse development. I just never go. So now I'm like,
you're lucky.
Am I not using it because it's free.
You're lucky. I love that. Well, I'm just going to come visit you.
Okay.
I'm going to work out. So yeah, that's it's been chaos here. Hell froze over and it snowed here.
I saw that.
Hailstorms. I was in the middle of a wedding that was outside and I almost died. It was torrential rains. It was hailing. The rental company decided that I did not know better, that the man knew better, and that he sent me the wrong size tent and I was right and he was wrong. And it was, oh my God, it was kind of disastrous, but I saved it. It worked.
Good.
I think I need to do like a book on how to save shit from people who don't know anything.
All right.
Or a reality show. You know what my client said to me the night of their wedding after I got home? They sent me a text at like 12 o'clock at night. Mm-hmm. It said, not only blah, 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 you were awesome, you're great, you know, couldn't have done it without you. But the last thing the groom said was, if you were to go onto a reality event planning show, you would win.
I love that. Christine, that can be your next business. You should do a reality show on events.
Well, someone one time called me, it's kind of like fairy godmother, but fairy event mother or fairy something like that. I thought, maybe I should coin that and you know, create something that tells about how to fix things or how to, you know, not have a disaster destroy someone's event. You know, it's crazy.
I love that.
Well, let me tell you about what we're doing today.
All right. Fill me in.
We are, the title of the show is Get Activated with Monica. And I was like, let's get activated with Monica. Okay. So she is an intuitive quantum activator. Okay. Here, let me raise this up so I can read it. All right. She activates you in the great spiritual movement and awakening that is happening now. A lot of ancient wisdom is waiting to be unlocked within you. I want it unlocked. Okay.
Me too.
Monica Bermudez is a #1 international best-selling co-author in Creating Your Legacy. Intuitive Quantum Energy Healer. Yeah, girl, go. Light language channeler expert. What the fuck? And Lemurian High Priestess. Anybody that's a high
Wow.
priestess is in my book. Okay. Okay. So
you are funny tonight.
because I always call myself a priestess instead of a queen. So I'm right
okay.
up. I'm right up that alley. She is a motivational and inspirational speaker. She uplifts audiences from their heartbreak to feeling increased clarity, confidence, empowerment, love, and joy in their purpose and love life. Her mission is to alchemize the heart center with unique energy codes. And you know how I like my codes.
I
Okay?
know.
Into deeper heart awakening. And she is unique in rebuilding and renewing all chakras and human grid systems to initiate the avatars as the ascended humans and masters on this earth. I'm obsessed with Monica.
I'm excited.
Let's bring Monica on.
Right.
Here we go. Monica, girl.
Hi, Monica.
Excited to be here with both of you.
Oh my God. Do you know my greatest joy is when we talk about someone coming on the show and talk about the show, and then they enter and they're always laughing. And I'm like, yes, we did our job. We did our job. So I love seeing the joy on your face, Monica. Thank you for being here today. So tell us, first of all, what an intuitive quantum activator is.
So let's start with the word quantum, right?
Yeah.
So quantum, it goes at the very subatomic level. So you have your cells, your electrons, your atoms, but way below the atom, you go at the subatomic, which is not many scientists are starting to discover more about this in the quantum field area. So what they're finding is that a lot of that subatomic, there's a lot of interconnection to what they call like the quantum field and the quantum physics, which is the motion of objects, right, in physics. But when you get to the subatomic level, you're talking about certain motions of these subatomic particles that are just so small that it goes beyond time and space. And so at that level, you can increase at this very accelerated level of a higher frequency of energy that could really shake up other areas within your own DNA, which is like a very multidimensional DNA. We are multidimensional, and all aspects of ourselves are multidimensional. So we're just much more than our physical selves. And in most cases, we tend to treat a lot of our physical reality as a 99%, but in fact, our whole spirituality and energy is actually the opposite. It's like the 99% of that, and the physical is just 1%. So I like to say that we are mostly made of energy.
I say we are made of energy. I mean, I say all the time, everything is made of energy. There's nothing in this world that we can touch, see, and hear and feel that isn't energy.
Yes, exactly. Everything is made of energy. And so we are part of the universe for that reason, because the universe is also made of the same frequency and energy and also contains that same quantum level. So we are all what they also use the term quantum entanglement. So we're all entangled energetically in that way.
Yeah.
And I like to look at it like an energy spider web of like these different energies that, go through the universe and how we interconnect with our own like ancestors and our soul family and our soul, star family, now that I also connect with a lot of the different star systems. And so, so that's where the quantum is, at a very basic explanation. So when you add intuitive, I'm very intuitive and psychic. And so I do have, a lot of those qualities that I've been working on since I was little, but it just took me a while to really talk about it in public, because something I shared in private with like really close friends, and I just felt like it wasn't the time to really share this. And now it's very appropriate that we are talking about this in public, because the energies have shifted so much, and they started to accelerate even more so during the pandemic, that I feel that it's much more easier to talk about more openly than it would have been like, I would say maybe 10 years ago or longer, when I was, talking about like psychic abilities and intuition and all that, or telepathy, or any of these other like amazing abilities, right? Sounds like you're this amazing like superhero. It's kind of like with the Marvel, right? Or these other like movies that I watched, like the mutants.
Yeah, but aren't we though?
Or ex-women or whatever.
I think we all are.
And we have all those like super, abilities in ourselves that we can unlock with these new energies, because we are giving that opportunity. It's like these are energies that are just so unprecedented. And when I say like energies, I'm talking about like all the astrological events that have been happening, which you hear a lot from the astrologers say, wow, this hasn't happened in like eons, or something like that. I was like, well, it's not a coincidence that we're all here at this time witnessing all these things in astrological planets, and then all of a sudden get this wave of energy come out of nowhere, right? That people are calling the ascension, the awakening, and the ascension symptoms and so forth. All of that because of how certain energy moves, and when we get hit with certain wave, and there's still stuff that hidden in the subconscious level, like patterns of trauma and all that, they will start to come out because they need to be released. And some it'll manifest like through physical pain, or emotional, all of a sudden start crying for no reason. Because part of that is you're being activated. That's
well, I saw something months ago, and I downloaded it. It was about this sound that unlocks and activates things within your DNA.
Ooh.
And it's very similar that what you were talking about. Jada, I'll have to share it with you.
Yeah.
They say you listen to it every day, and it unlocks certain things within your DNA. And it had something to do with manifesting money, or, things like that, wealth, abundance.
Yeah, I believe that there is, even in sound and music and all that, there is certain frequencies of energy that can unlock a lot of our DNA. And like I said, our DNA is multidimensional. So there's like a lot of different aspects of ourselves that, we can unlock in ourselves in that way. So that is all part of this whole awakening. It's just waking up to yourself, who you really are at the soul level.
I love that. How are you an intuitive quantum energy healer? How does that work?
So I do a lot of intuitive like channeling readings. Like when I do my light language channeling, for instance, it does come at a very quantum level. Like it does go into like the subatomic, beyond that, into the patterns, and really dissolves a lot of those patterns, the different layers of it. And so usually when I'm channeling, I have my eyes closed, and I do see, and hear what my guides are saying and spirit are saying in that moment. And sometimes, I will share exactly the words, that come through with my clients. And so I'm working purely with the energy. And I, some of my clients have called it like energy spa.
Yeah, I love that. So first of all, Jada and I have to do this with you.
Yes. Yes.
We have to, because I need some shit unlocked. Okay.
So do I.
I have been so I never even heard of the word manifesting until COVID. Something somehow came across, and I learned about it, and now I'm obsessed. And it's been 3 years now, and I am an incredible, powerful manifester. I have I have a strong gift for manifesting, but there's some things that are kind of still locked, especially when it comes to, and I'll just share this, financial.
Yeah.
Okay.
Same.
I need I've unlocked the love. I've unlocked some other things, business wise and like artistic wise, and things to develop for my production stuff. But now I need to unlock the money part, because it's waylaying all the other things that I'm been working so hard for.
Me too.
So that is what I need to focus on.
Well, the money part for me is an energy is a tool. And this is how I explain to the client, right? You could work with the energy of money. So it's really neutral. It's neither, feminine or masculine. Actually, it could be like, you consider it like a twin flame. And actually, I do use a lot of the twin flame energy, by the way. And when I talk about twin flame, I don't know if you heard of twin flames.
I heard of it.
I'm talking about the divine feminine, divine masculine energy, because we all have that energy. It doesn't matter if you're a woman or a man.
Yeah.
And so that's one of the things I always emphasize, is to really bring that into your wholeness in yourself. And you bring that energy in of that balance inside of yourself. And that's how you also unlock a lot of the money. To think of your money as your twin flame.
Okay.
Think of it as
like as a positive thing. Because Monica, I will tell you, the first time I ever heard of a twin flame thing, I was like talking to this dude from online, and all he could talk about was his fucking twin flame, and how this girl and him were like water and fire, and they were like contradicting, and it was awful, but he couldn't let her go and they couldn't go away. And I was like, ooh, that sounds awful, and I don't want one of those. Okay. And I was like, I go, do you think that I'm ever going to date a dude or give a dude a chance who is obsessed with his twin flame that is like some chick that he has this horrible relationship with? I'm like, yeah, peace out. Peace out. So I would like to think of a twin flame as a positive thing and as a energy of money, because that I'm all about.
Yeah. So, the thing about twin flames, some people have like taken it a little bit too far extreme, that it has to be like this. It's almost turned into this dependency of this other person. And it's not really what it was intended to be. And
what is it? Tell us what a twin flame really is supposed to be.
For me, it is linked to purpose, because that is where I focus first, and about purpose. And that goes for any relationship. That goes for like your soulmate, or, whatever karmic relationship you have. It still has a purpose, because it is a karmic relationship that you're releasing, that you're learning from, that you're growing from, because in every, relationship, you're learning from each other. You're each other's mirrors. So in a twin flame relationship, that mirror is more intense. So if one or the other hasn't really gotten themselves cleared, or, really working themselves inwardly, it will be magnified 10 times with a twin flame. It's like staring at yourself in a mirror. So if you already have issues with yourself, you meet your twin flame, it's not going to go so well. It's not like rainbows and all these other things like people make it, all, cut out to be. And so that's why for me, like when I think of, twin flame union, I feel like there is a purpose to that. There is some level of soul contract that also is linked to that. They come together because their purpose is to establish certain business in this world, to help, the humanity, to work together with the cosmic energies, whatever it may be. I'm just giving examples, right? Or it may be to bring a child, that you're here to bring certain like specific children, to this earth, to the new earth, frequency I like to call. But that's the way I see, a twin flame relationship. Otherwise, it's not just because, it's just for fun. Like I just want to be with my perfect, person. And actually, I've talked to many like twin flame relationships, and they say it's very challenging. So you have to really be ready for that challenge.
I've actually met people along my journey in this lifetime where they have been just like me, like you said, like a mirror. And what I have gotten out of that is not a, ooh, no, or a negative thing. I've gotten out of it. I think in my brain, it clicks. my brain says, oh my gosh, that person, I admire that person. I see good things in them. And I go away thinking, wait a minute, I'm just like that. And it gives me a newfound feeling for myself. You know what I mean? It gives me a new sense of respect for myself to say, you know what? Wow, I am just as good as that person in these ways. You know what I mean? Like it's a good thing. Like it reminds me that because we're really hard on ourselves as humans. We're really tough, and I ride myself, really hard, and I expect a lot from myself, and when I see that in other people, some of the things that I admire in them, I stop and go, whoa, oh my God, I just saw myself in the mirror, and that feels really good.
Yes. Yes. Yes, that's amazing because like that's the one thing that we do to ourselves, like over criticize ourselves and over analyze ourselves and have like and that's can be heartbreaking in ourselves. But yeah, so that's the point, is that you really want to like work on yourself first. If that is, your desire, you feel a calling, right? I'm talking a calling of your heart, your soul, that says, you have a twin flame and you're meant to be together, then really start working on yourself first. You see, that's where it all lies into. But now if we're talking about like the money, the financial type stuff, I like to also apply that to money. I think of money as my twin flame.
I'm down. I'm down. My twin flame is incredible. This money thing.
But so it's not so much, Monica. It's different than manifesting, is what you're saying. Like it's not necessarily manifesting financial gain or abundance or prosperity. This is more an energy tie to money. Is that
Yeah, because you already are abundant. That's one thing you have to know, right? Is that knowing that you have that inside of you, because we are the mirrors of the universe. Remember that. We're all made of energy. Everything's made of energy mostly, right?
Yes.
And so because of that energy that we're putting out, we have to start with that energy inside of ourselves. Right. So if we're going to have like certain money stories that says, I'm lacking, or, and it may be at a subconscious level, not yet like fully aware. Right. And if we're having this subconscious like recording that's playing over and over in the background, and the moment that you catch it and you're able to like change that, and start working at that energy and refilling it with something else that says, I am already abundant. Right. For example, I already, money is my twin flame. And just work with the energy of money to serve your purpose, because one of the things that I started also looking at my expenses, right? And I did also start giving to like expenses, because I'm learning from that I got myself into this, so now I'm starting to clean up a lot of that, and I'm looking at the things that, okay, what is it that I really need to spend my money on? And this is how showing to myself and respect to the money that I'm also grateful for having, right? And so looking at that and these are just some simple like ideas, and that in itself, just having that gratitude and that respect, is also going to generate that wealth and that money, because it's also going to help you in saving as well. But then you may unexpectedly get money from somewhere else and get rewards. And that's what I started noticing too. And so that's the one thing that, my advice on that is to apply the twin flame energy, because I also apply the twin flame energy to my business. I like to think of it as my partner.
How do you do that? How do you apply it? When you say I apply that towards money and my business, how are you actually doing that?
Giving it respect. So like really looking at every angle of like the weakness and the strength, and where, I need to like move forward on, and if am I being too aggressive or too assertive in these areas, or maybe I'm not thinking it right. And then the other way that I do it is visualizing myself as however I want to visualize my business as being my partner, or visualizing money as being your partner. And you could just like make love to it if you want to, like
I'm gonna fuck the shit out of this money
Yeah, because our sexual energy is also a very strong creative force,
right?
And I think sexual energy has been corrupted in some ways, right? Or
Yes.
at least tainted, right?
Right.
So, and I think that's where we start to really look at our sexual energy, to really start to polish it so that we can use it for a new earth frequency, because it was always a sacred thing and act and practice to do. And that's also another source of manifestation. That's another source of like generating your wealth and your money. So think about that. I was like, so I'm talking about like orgasm now.
Ow! I'm going to like, yep, I've just had a vision. How Money and I are going to have orgasms together. So before I ask you my next question, I do want to acknowledge Lola. Lola is one of our listeners, and she's made a couple of comments, and I just want to say, yes, absolutely. She's saying that as women, we are really hard on ourselves, and she is really, really interested in applying this to herself. Hi, Lola. And so make sure, Monica, that you are putting in our little chat here so our producer can scroll how our listeners can find you so that they can work with you, because this is extraordinary. I love this. This is my favorite thing that we've found so far. So here's my next question. You talk about the unique energy codes to deepen your heart awakening. What kind of codes are you talking about, and how do you do something like that? And what's its purpose?
So when I first started my business, I was really emphasizing the Sacred Heart, and I still do, except that I was called to like my mission to expand in other areas. And so what I call the Sacred Heart is actually the twin flame heart. And this is an alchemical thing. Like you have your upper heart here. I don't know if you're familiar with the chakra areas of the heart center, but you have your
here, right?
Upper heart is up here, which is close to your throat chakra.
Throat.
And so they're very linked to each other. And then you have your lower heart, which is what I consider to be like the human heart. And so this upper heart is very like a divine cosmic heart. It's all about unity, consciousness. And when these two come together, they form this, what I call the sacred heart. And so in that sacred heart is this connection to your soul. It's like a gateway to your soul, and it's your purpose. And so when I talk about my unique energy codes, like with people who I work with in private, my clients, they come in very unique to them, because what I'm doing is catalyzing and helping them remove certain patterns that have been here from many heartbreaks. And all of these heartbreaks have been through relationships, through, it's grief of like losing someone, a loved one, of getting through a divorce, right? Breakups. And just money loss, also another thing, it's a big thing right now. And just in your jobs, all those things, that any kind of loss. And some of them don't stem just from this lifetime. And I found, working with them, that they come from like multiple lifetimes.
Yes.
That's exactly what happened to me. Is when I started, before I launched my business, I had just gone through a divorce, right? And so I was in this really a lot of pain, like heartbreak. And so I was determined, because I realized in that moment I had this big awakening. I was like, wait a minute, I've been in all these relationships that suck. It's like they all just like, I don't understand what's going on here. And that's when I realized, I said, you know what, I'm done with this. Whatever this is, I'm going to work really deep inside my own like patterns. So I was really working with whatever tools I could find. And one of the tools that helped me the fastest and most accelerated way was through light language. And this is even before I even got activated into like myself, because when I started working more in it, the more patterns I started to release, the more I started to activate other abilities in myself, and what I never expected was light language, because I had no desire to do it.
Can you tell our listeners what light language is?
So the light language is just all sound and frequency. That's all it is. And they're very unique. Like each of the star systems, now we're going to go into like the universe, into the cosmic realms and the other dimensions. Those speak their own language, which it's not English. It's not of any language here on this earth. Although sometimes with certain like language speakers, it will sound like it is from a particular foreign language, but it's not, because it all comes in very unique to each one. And it's all just its own type of sound, and it comes with its own very unique frequency of energy. And so one thing that I advise for like people who are like trying this for the first time, because on my website that I just posted on there, I do have a free quantum reality transmission on there, which is light language, and you can listen to it for yourself. But it helps with like certain ascension symptoms of like getting yourself realigned. And I know when I was feeling a bit out of balance, when I was getting certain waves of like new energies, the ascension, it would help me rebalance myself.
I love that. So Lola says, everything in my life didn't start to change until I let go of the pain from the past and was able to open my heart and mind again. Now things are finally moving in the direction I have always wanted. Better late than ever. Yeah, girl.
Love it, Lola.
But that could also mean not only because I have said I've lived many lives, but I've also lived many lives in this life. Like I've changed so much and grown so much throughout my life. In this life alone, I've learned many lessons. I sometimes think that this might be my last life, only because of the amount of growth and the amount of learning. And I have a very, very old soul, and I've lived many, many lives. So I kind of wonder if this might be my last. I mean, it's kind of makes me a little sad, but then it kind of makes me think, oh God, thank God.
If you feel that, then it is your last life, especially if you've gone through so much, because I feel the same way. And I've been hearing that from a lot of people. So this may actually be a lot, the last one for a lot of people. So that's why I emphasize work on your patterns now. If you really don't want to like come back again, because in most of these cases it's been because of the karmic, reincarnation. But I feel like a lot of the karmic depth has been completing, ending cycles for a lot of people. So
Though I will tell you, I am very interested to know what's going to be happening in the future. So I don't know if I wouldn't mind coming back again.
I mean, your purpose and your mission may go beyond into the universe. There's like the universe is big. There's like a vast amount of like wisdom and information out there into these other systems. And it's not just all in the physical. Like we all like look with our physical eyes and expect to see like, all these things. We have to look here, with our inner eye and all those things,
I want to come back as an alien.
Fascinating. Oh, stop it.
So I call them my star family.
My star family. Exactly. I'm going to learn more about star family. We should probably have you back and come back and talk about star families, because that's really a whole nother fascinating thing. So you're a light language channeler expert, and you talk about being a Lemurian. Did I say that right? A Lemurian High Priestess. Tell us what a Lemurian High Priestess is.
So I don't know if you've heard of Lemuria.
No.
Civilization. So there's been a lot of talks of ancient civilization. Have you heard of Atlantis?
Yes. I come from Atlantis for sure. That was definitely a past life.
I feel that in you. I feel you're an Atlantean priestess.
Oh, Christine.
And I'm telling you, Monica, I have said it many times. I've been a priestess, and I definitely was in Atlanta.
I feel that.
Tell us more.
the thing is, I can tap into like who's the Atlantis and who's the Lemurian energy. That's the one of the abilities that I have. But this Lemurian priestess that I that has been awakened in me, reawakened, let's just say, because apparently I've been like Lemurian priestess for like many, many, many times, and so it's been reawakened, and it's very specific to helping the. It's like an animal communicator, but it's more like an energy exchange to help them connect to their galactic source. Because a lot of the animals who live on this earth actually come from other star systems.
Wow.
And like the cats, for instance, some of them comes from the Orion. And I asked my dog, who I have now, so which star system do you come from? And she told me Orion.
You can't tell me this doesn't look like an alien.
My gosh.
Look who
What
I
a
adopted.
little pumpkin. I know, you told me.
For those who aren't watching but who are listening in the future, I'm holding up my new pug. Pug. What am I talking about? I'm sorry, I did not mean to insult you.
Yeah,
It's a French bulldog. Yeah,
he
I
gave you
adopted
that.
French.
That.
That's
So
my
that's one of
juice.
like my abilities is with the animals, but of air and water and land, all these things. And so like all of these things started to wake up. And then there was this other aspect of my Lemurian slice I started to remember that I used to walk a lot of the grid systems on the earth to help it get balanced. So the grid systems are like the energy, lines of the earth. And I like to think of them as like the veins, in comparison to our, body. Like we also have like energy centers, also like grid systems in our body, just into like earth. And so a lot of times, before like these ancient civilizations like Lemuria was very much, the energy of it was very motherly like. But the land was also called Mu, and Mu really stands for mother. And so the energy felt very motherly like. It was very unity consciousness. And so they were all about the nature and all that and keeping things balanced. And so was Atlantis. Although I feel with Atlantis, when I tune into its energy, it feels very scientific and very technology, but it was like advanced science and technology, not like the science and technology we have now. This is like Mickey Mouse,
So are you saying that Lemurian or Lemora, how do you say that?
Lemuria.
That is an ancient civilization?
Yes, that's
different.
Yes.
Yeah.
So very ancient, even before like the civilizations that we had now, whatever the history books say, obviously the history books don't write about it. And so before
the history books are full of bullshit anyway.
That's what we're talking about here, 50 Shades of Bullshit.
Well, Monica, I have a question. How do you determine which one you are? Like, how do you determine which type of priestess you are or what you're going to practice, if that makes sense?
So I know, like, for me, I already had that as I think it was part of my DNA. So you would know, you will feel it in your DNA. If you have that, calling, that means that you have that already engraved inside of you. And that's why I feel like, with Christine, that you already carry that priestess, lineage. I feel like it's a lineage that carries on through this like DNA. And I'm not talking about the human DNA. I'm talking about like galactic DNA. Like it says there's a very multidimensional for DNA, has very different aspects.
Here, hold on. I choked on my water just now because I was so excited that you said dimensions. Because is dimensions something that you're able to talk more about? Different dimensions?
Yes. So
here's my question. I wanted to know that because I'm going to let you finish your thought, but I do want to have you come back because I really want to talk about the other dimensions and our star family. So I'm putting that out there right now. I'm going to schedule you to come back to talk about that, but please continue on with what you were just going to say about other dimensions and go for it.
So, I mean, like dimensions are of these different frequencies, right? That we find ourselves doesn't mean that one is better than the other either. So
Okay.
we can't think of it that way. But it's just being in these different levels of frequencies, and we are made of a lot of I would say the 13th dimension, or maybe higher, that we can go within our DNA.
Okay.
And so our DNA could be expanded even more so, because that's the way we were built, the human body, before our soul came into this body, because our soul has been universal traveler, let's just say.
Yes.
When the human body was, built, it was built to be able to go to the different dimensions, whereas before it didn't have that, and it was designed that way because with these new energies, it was intended for us to like help with the ascension and with this new earth frequency energy, and being in our multidimensional selves and connecting with our star family. Because I feel there are many who are starseeds but don't realize they're starseeds, but they feel that they have that calling. I'm very starseed.
What does that mean? Explain what that is, because I can see a lot of listeners right now going, "What in the hell is she talking about?"
So starseed being like coming from other galactic systems. So sometimes you may feel like this, I really don't feel like I'm human. But I don't understand why I feel this desire, this calling for this other like planet, or this other galactic system, why I'm so drawn to this specific star race, like maybe call
Okay.
to the Palladians, or like Orion or Sirius or Lyra. And if you hear any of those, something inside of you sparks open or gets activated, right?
Mm.
Or Arcturus, and all these other galactic, races that Andromeda, and then it's like something inside feels like you feel this calling towards that. And so that's why I call like the star seeds are the people, like the seeds. We're the seeds of those stars, here on the earth. So in a way, it's like we're almost like Star Wars, we're all come from like
I
different stars. Like
I love it, because I feel like while you were talking about that, I kept hearing in my head, pretty soon we're not just going to be, what do you identify? Oh, she, her, him, they, them, starseed. Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
I
Just
like
saying.
that.
Just saying.
I love that. Yes.
Love it. So, Lola was asking, yeah, I think I'm not quite sure what we were talking about before that she asked this question, but I think we were talking about different things in our DNA, and she had mentioned something like spiritual DNA. Uh, when you were talking about different
Mm,
frequencies, are you
yes.
talking about our spiritual side of our DNA or an actual physical
No,
part of it?
both. And actually, I do like the spiritual DNA, 'cause I call it the soul DNA.
Yeah.
And so
Okay.
I feel like there is those aspects of our soul as well that are interlinked to our human DNA. And so
Okay.
that is how they're all mixed in, like into these different dimensions.
Hmm.
So yeah, it's a good
Hmm.
question.
That's great. So you align and renew people's chakras as well, and you do all this like rebuilding of, like you said, the human grid system. So when you're working with someone, tell me, when do you is there like this definition of what you're going into? Like you're going, oh no, we're going to work on your intuitive quantum energy, or we're going to work in the light language, or we're going to work with our um, energy codes. I mean, is there something that it kind of like is a hybrid of all of that, or do you distinctly work on different things?
It's a hybrid, and when it's in, private with my clients, it's always very unique. And when I'm working with groups, it's whatever that group needs. And in that moment is whatever, I'm feeling intuitively wants to come for the whole group. And so, I go into like repair just the energy field of the chakras. And it's just a rebalancing of like these old patterns and just helping them dissolve it. and bringing them back into their own state. And so, I talked about the twin flame energy. So I also work with the twin flame energy in the chakras as well, because all of the chakras themselves also have the balancing of the divine feminine, divine masculine energy too. So there is this union that occurs in each of the different chakras. And when I was doing the Sacred Heart, with some of my clients, I mean, they were having like amazing like results from that, like whole union with themselves and their heart.
I love that. So you work with individuals and you do group stuff?
Yes.
So what is more, do you think, productive or fun for the people that you work with? Is it better to do like an individual thing, or is it great to do like a group setting? Is it just as productive to do it in a group?
Yeah, I mean, it's whatever you are feeling called in that moment, that desire for that.
I want to get a group together and do a group thing with you. I
would love that.
I know right now there's you, me, Lola, and I can think of
Janice, maybe.
5, I can think of at least 10 people. So, oh my God.
We can think about this.
This new dog this new dog is from another planet with the stinky ass. It farts on me.
I think he's activating you.
God.
I think doggy's activating you though.
Oh my God, he's activating me with stinky shit farts. Oh my God. I love him.
I have one quick question, Monica, and I meant to ask you this earlier when we were talking about chakras. I have had people tell me before that my throat chakra is blocked. I have absolutely no idea what that means, but I think whatever it is, it's blocking something universal or something. Yeah. Do you have like suggestions or things that you would say to people to remove certain blockages from their chakras?
Yes, I mean, you could talk to your own chakra. It's also a guide, just so you know. Each of the chakras are. So you could spend time with your own chakra and ask why, you would think it's blocked. I mean, do you feel it's blocked, first of all? It's one thing for others to say that, right? It's another thing whether you feel it yourself. And this is the other thing that I like to tell my clients or teach it, is that I want them to be independent and trust their own guidance. And that's one of the reasons why I do the work that I do with them, because I really want them to be independent on this. And so that's why, I that's my advice, to start with that.
Thank you. Yeah. Can I ask on that line with Jada? Can I ask you, Monica, when it comes to a throat chakra, isn't that essentially our our cosmic voice, our ability to speak our truth or to So maybe, Jada, have you ever found in your life that you've not been able to speak what you really feel you need to speak, or you felt like you weren't allowed to express how you really? Okay, then your throat chakra is stuck, and it's and I would personally say, correct me if I'm wrong, Monica, because I'm feeling it right now, that maybe you should meditate within yourself and ask that question as you go into your meditation. And meditation can be like as you're falling asleep, write it down on a notepad and think about it as you're going to sleep. What do I need to know to give myself my true voice?
I love that.
How can I change this? How can I move forward with speaking my truth and saying the things I need to say?
That's good. The other thing that I wanted to share, if I may.
Absolutely.
As Christine was talking, I was hearing something about you singing. And so just that singing.
Me or Jada?
Jada. And
singing,
it, you will help unlock more of, these other whatever blocks or unblock you. Or help you.
I love to sing. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't know. I was hearing singing for you. So I was like, oh, okay, I wonder if she does singing.
Oh, that's good.
I love that. I love it. So before we sign off, because we've only literally got like less than 30 seconds, which sucks. Monica, I want to book you for the beginning of April if I can. Come back and talk about star family and dimensions. So when we get off here, we'll talk about that. Lola, thank you for interacting with us today.
Thank you, Lola.
That was great.
Yes.
I think that there's a really cool group setting that we can get together. I'll talk to you about that. And for people who want to find Monica, go to Sacred Heart Awakenings with an S.com. And if anybody wants to join our group, we're going to do a group with you, Monica, and go from there. But what stinks is that we were just getting good and it's over.
And we got to go.
I hate it. We got to go. I need a longer show. So everyone, this is great.
Thank you, Monica. Thank you so much for coming.
Yeah. And I think maybe we can touch more onto this in that next episode, and hopefully you're available at the beginning of April and we can book you for that. But I would love to have you back, and we're definitely doing a session with you. Thank you everyone for coming and joining us today. We hope you come back and listen and watch again. And until then, let's just keep it real.
Yay.
If you enjoyed this episode, please share with your friends, like and follow us on Instagram at 50 Shades of _bullshit and Facebook at 50 Shades of Bullshit. Thanks so much for listening, and we really hope to see you again next week.